Alright, so the Springbok squad has just dropped for the New Zealand test out in Cape Town. And there's a couple of surprising selections and there's a couple of non-surprising selections. But we have gone for a 5-3 split on the bench, which is very, very interesting. Before we dive into the team, please absolutely mold that subscribe button. As you guys know, we're trying to interview KOLISI and Rassie on this YouTube channel by the end of the year. And trust me, we are very, very close to it. Leave your opinions down in the comments of what you think of this team and always like the video. Now, let's dive into it. The front three we called, I mean, it was pretty laid on that the Springboks were going to go for this front three: Ox, Bongi, Frans Malherbe. We know what they're going to give us. They're going to give us some go forward ball. It has come out that Don Human has said that the All Blacks have one of the best scrums, most powerful scrums in world rugby at the moment. So I think Ox, Bongi and Frans are going to be out to really try and get this All Blacks scrum, get some penalties off of that scrum and get some go forward ball, because last week we didn't exactly do that. I think they're going to want to be way more dominant in that facet of the game on Saturday. We then move over into the lock positions, and as expected, Eben Etzebeth starts at number 4 and Ruan Nokia starts in that number 5 jersey. Now, the line-out woes last weekend were a massive talking point. I mean, our lineouts weren't great. Malcolm Marx had a couple of skewed throws. We did see Ruan Nokia kind of steady the ship. He's very good at running lineouts and the calls, and that's very much his skill set. So I think they'll definitely be trying to tighten the nuts and bolts on the lineouts this week. And again, it's one of our key facets. Scrums and lineouts is Springbok rugby, right? We can only play some fancy Tony Brown system if we have a solid platform to play off. So I do think that tight five is going to have a very big task ahead of them on Saturday to try and get the Springboks that go forward ball, that very clean ruck ball, so that we can get onto the front foot, even get penalties off of lineouts and scrums and really pin New Zealand back. Then into the loose trio. Now, there was a lot of speculation about KOLISI not playing this weekend because of his fractured broken cheekbone, but he's in the squad and he is captaining, which is absolutely phenomenal for the Springboks. If you were at Ellis Park last week, I'm sure you've seen I'm sure you've seen the clips on Instagram and TikTok and so on of KOLISI doing that lap around the field and interacting with the fans. The fans didn't leave that stadium till about 20-30 minutes after the final whistle because KOLISI was going around. He really is a man of the people. Everyone loves KOLISI, and when he puts on that Springbok top, he bleeds for South Africa, and he really plays his best rugby in a Springbok top. Then into that number 7 jersey, there's only one man, Pieter-Steph du Toit, and I'm so happy that he isn't playing lock. Last week he played 4, 5 and 7. I think this is by far his best position, and I thought they might burden him with the captain responsibilities if KOLISI wasn't playing. But I think we just got to leave Pieter-Steph to do what Pieter-Steph does, make 26 tackles, be very dominant in the tackles, be very dominant to get over the gain line when he carries the ball. So Pieter-Steph is going to have another massive game. And then into that 8 jersey, there was speculation, is it going to be Jasper Visser, is it going to be Ulrich Loh? I said in my predicted lineup that I would like to see Ulrich Loh. A lot of you guys disagreed with me, and I love to see that, so get stuck into the comments now. But I think there's a couple of you said it yesterday, Rassie Erasmus is going to give Jasper Visser more time in the jersey. I don't think he was at his best last week, and I think when Ulrich Loh came on, he impacted the game phenomenally well. But like you guys said, Jasper Visser needs some game time, and I 100% agree with that decision. So seeing Jasper in that number 8 jersey again is a good sight. He just needs to, I think last week he was just a little bit rusty, and I think this week we'll see him sort of be more of the Jasper Visser that we used to seeing. So a very experienced, very dominant pack to start the lineup. The only really inexperienced player in that pack is Ruan Nokia. We then move into the back line, and now this was a hotly debated topic. In yesterday's video, I was kind of talking about the combinations that we're going to see in that 9 and 10 jersey. I think the combinations are more important than the actual players in those jerseys. We spoke about Kobus Reinach and the Sasha combination. We even chatted about Marnie Leborg potentially starting and who should be paired with Marnie at 9. Maybe it was a Grant Williams, maybe it was a Kobus Reinach, but they've gone for Grant Williams and Handré Pollard. Now, clearly, Grant Williams and Handré Pollard is the combination they go with, and Kobus and Sasha is the other combination. So Grant Williams, I'm so stoked for him because he's been playing such phenomenal rugby, and a lot of people have been looking at him as sort of an impact player coming off of the bench, but I'm so happy that he is going to be getting a start in the Springbok lineup at Cape Town. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal, and I really hope he starts well and him and Pollard gel nicely. Now, Pollard being in that number 10 jersey is, again, I think, a statement to New Zealand. Yes, we gave Sasha a run last week, but Handré Pollard still is our man in that number 10 jersey. He's going to control the game. He's going to slot every single penalty that he gets his hand onto. And I think having Pollard in at that 10 position maybe paints a story of how we're going to go this week. Sasha, last week we saw when the Springboks got a penalty, it was all to the corner. I think we kicked 1 or 2 penalties. Sasha missed one and then slotted that 60-meter one. But I think this is saying, if we get a penalty inside of New Zealand's half, Pollard is going to line those kicks up and really keep building that scoreboard pressure. So I like it. I mean, Pollard's never let us down before. Why would he start letting us down now? And I'm very interested to see how Grant Williams and Handré Pollard in that combination start this test match against the All Blacks. Then we move into the centre pairing, and it's tried, true, and tested Damien de Allende and Jesse Kriel. I do think we're going to have to be a lot tighter in our outside channels this week. New Zealand scored 4 tries against the Springboks last week. Jesse Kriel is normally very, very good in that 13 channel. Damien de Allende was also good last week. Made a couple of mistakes, but also turned over a couple of balls, was dominant with ball in hand and as well as defense. So Jesse Kriel, Damien de Allende are really going to have to tighten up those defensive channels and really try and move out wide to stop the New Zealand wings from getting around them. We then look at the back three, and there's 2 changes here, right? Last week was Cheslin Colby, Kurtley Arendse, Apelele Fassi. Obviously, Kurtley Arendse is out with a concussion, so this was sort of the conversation of, do we bring back Makazole Mapimpi? Is Kane Moody ready to come back? Do we shift JC Kriel to 14 and play Lukanya in that 13 position? Well, they've picked Kane Moody in the number 14 jersey with Cheslin Colby obviously in the number 11 jersey, and it's going to be great to see Kane Moody back. I mean, he lit the park on fire when he made his debut for the Springboks, and then he became sort of a regular until he got injured. He's been playing some good rugby in the Currie Cup, so I'm very, very keen to see what Kane Moody can do. And again, he is a little bit bigger than Kurtley Arendse. Is he going to be able to bolster and improve our defense out wide against this very lethal New Zealand attack? And then finally in the 15 jersey, Willie le Roux. Now, I thought this might happen. Apelele Fassi had a phenomenal game last week. Yes, he made a couple of mistakes, but you have to expect that from someone who's so inexperienced. He wants to play rugby. He wants to express himself. So I think this week, with the combination of Pollard at 10 and Willie at 15, it is saying that we're going to be a little bit more tactical. We're going to do some more tactical kicking. We're going to take up our opportunities when we get it off the tee. Willie le Roux is also very, very good at organizing the defensive line, so I think they've brought him in. As much as you're not going to believe me, I think they've brought Willie le Roux in to strengthen the defense. Maybe not one-on-one, but in terms of managing and organizing the defense, I think Willie le Roux is very, very good at that. So the starting 15 is absolutely unbelievable. I think Rassie is still, although we're trying to win this test match, he's still giving guys opportunities, right? Jasper Visser needs to get some more time on the park. Ruan Nokia, yes, although we have a lock crisis at the moment, is still giving him time. Finally, he's given Grant Williams some time. We saw it with Sasha. He sort of came off the bench and then started. And I think that's what we're going to start seeing from Grant Williams. I do think Grant Williams is our best scrum half at the moment. So for him to get a start is very, very encouraging. And then it's good to see Kane Moody get another shot in a Springbok jersey. We then move over into the bench. And interestingly, they've gone for a 5-3 split. Now, I think the main reason that the Springboks won last week against New Zealand was the bomb squad, right? They came on and completely changed the dynamics of the game, and it's actually why we ended up winning the game. So to sort of go away from the bomb squad and go for more of a 5-3 split is an interesting call, but again, I think we're going to see a bit of a different game plan here. We're going to start off very tactical, wear them down a little bit, and then maybe towards the last 30 minutes, we're going to start playing more of that attacking style rugby. That's just what the bench tells me, right? We've got Malcolm Marx, Gerrit Steenkamp, Vincent Koch, exactly the same from last weekend. They did a phenomenal job. I am wondering when they're going to start bringing Kitshoff back in, when they're going to give Thomas du Toit an opportunity, and maybe we'll see that in the Argentinian test once we've wrapped up the Rugby Championship by beating New Zealand this Saturday. Then the final two Forwards are Kwagga Smith and Ulrich Loh. Now again, this leaves us a little bit thin in that lock position. Earban's probably going to have to play 80, Peter Steph's going to have to play 80, and if Ruan Nokia goes off, Peter Steph's going to have to move into that lock position. Kwagga or Ulrich Loh plays 7 or 8. So we are looking a little bit thin on loosies and locks there. And Marco van Staden getting dropped is also something to talk about. I mean, is Sia going to play a full 80 minutes here after he's just fractured and broken his cheekbone? Is Sia going to come off and Ulrich Loh play 6 and then Kwagga Smith come on and play 8? It's going to be very interesting to see how those combinations align on Saturday. And then finally, the 3 backline players, Jaden Hendrikse back into the mix, replacement scrum half. A little bit unfortunate for Kobus Reinach, but again, Rassie Rasmus is trying to build a squad to win the 2027 Rugby World Cup, right? So I think giving Jaden Hendrikse 20 minutes at the end of this game, hopefully once it's semi-locked up, is going to be interesting and good to see him back on the pitch. I mean, if all our scrum halves are fit, we've got Faf, we've got Grant Williams, Kobus Reinach and Jaden Hendrikse, as well as Morten van den Berg. So it is a very, very good position to be in. Then obviously Sasha in the number 22 role, he can play 10, he can play 15, he can play 12. I do think he'll probably come on for Handré Pollard. Pollard might move to 12, and then we'll go from there. It's exactly what we saw last weekend. And then surprisingly, we see Lukhanyo in the number 23 jersey. Now, again, this is Rassie Rasmus just trying to give Lukhanyo some more game time. I don't think he was confident enough to start him in that 13 jersey against New Zealand, but I do think we'll see Lukhanyo come on in that 13, maybe even the 12 jersey. Sasha goes to the 10, Jesse Creel stays on in 13. So I think there is going to be a lot of experimentation in that second half. If Rassie Rasmus just wanted to go and win this game against New Zealand, we would play the same bomb squad from last weekend. But Rassie Rasmus is still looking to develop the squad, still looking at combinations. As much as we want to win this game, his mind is still on the 2027 World Cup and building the best team to win that competition. I like the squad. I think we have a very, very good chance this week against the All Blacks in Cape Town. I will be there. So if you're there, come and say hello. I'd love to interview some of you. If you haven't, please move to that subscribe button. Leave your opinions down below. Leave the video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.